That was a
I
pretty
wish
interesting
Sienna
team.
was here right now to fight Randy. I would pay money for that.
Yeah, Randy
Yeah.
totally denied that.
Oh, there's Jash.
I've
And
never
then
Um,
I
seen
think
someone
going into that
lie
night,
so
I was
much.
those two though were the bottom ranked anyway, which is wild. That came down to a tie to them anyway.
yep, and then Sienna continued to be the bottom ranked after that. You guys really tanked her. But yeah, it was like within how close was it? Like within like point one something, right?
It was very
It
close,
was
like
something very close like that.
9.7 to 9.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gage had negative 9.4 and Sienna had negative 8.1.
And I think it really changed the season with Gage leaving because he very clearly would have been on one of the sides, which was the other one that Sienna was supposedly on. So I think it would have made a big swing. And I think Alex would have lasted a lot longer.
Great.
I would have too.
All right, yeah. So that's how we started off the season. I'm thinking like between rounds that we recap, we give one award. What do you think, production?
Yeah,
That's fine.
that's good.
What award do you want us to announce? You decide. I'll announce.
Oh my goodness.
They're all fine. I don't care.
All right. Well, let's just do because we just talked about a rant. Well, I just spoiled it. This award is for best DR. And Randy, we gave Randy the winner for that because you all saw Randy's inspo, and that was that kept us very entertained all season. I was always waiting for the next Randy's inspo. Anyone want to say their favorite Randy's inspo they've seen?
Ugh. So many to choose from, guys. Let me pick just one. I know Cassie's.
Mine is the fuck Jash.
So my favorite one is the choke with the little
Oh.
smiley
I like
face.
choke.
Yeah.
I also like Plith is a copy paster.
Yeah, that's the
You
real.
all
She
called
is
her
fun.
out on it all season. It was great. We embraced it.
Randy, we need you to continue making those in future seasons. Just what people say in the Discord or whatever.
It's your new role.
Yeah.
My favorite was an alliance.
Oh yeah, with the captain's chamber thing.
Every time it was so funny.
So funny.
And Diak finally made it there at the end. Finally made it to the alliance.
Oh my god, the morning that D-Hawk showed up, I was living. I was so happy.
I was really confused when that popped up.
Yeah, nobody back read ever. Everyone just talked and immediately said, "What is this?"
Yeah. It was, same response from pretty much everyone. Yeah, and then okay, so going to the next round, I feel like this is like probably the most one of the more important rounds of the game. We go into the Domino's executive. Anyone want to recap what was going on leading up to the Domino's thing? I know it was like it was a major scramble for a lot of you.
It was like one side was trying to plan the dominoes, and the other side was just saying more defensively, like, I'll push you, but not actually plan a chain's worth. And it's like the side that didn't plan the chain is the one that won the exec, which is a lesson to future players. Don't plan the dominoes chain. It always gets you in trouble.
That goes for any comp here. If you plan too much, if you over strategize, it always goes downhill.
I don't know that that's always true, but in this season it definitely was. In that comp, it definitely was.
Fair share.
Last season, too, that comp got messed up for Steven.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
A lot
tough
of
one.
people had like different motives for it, which really made it interesting. Some people were just trying to like keep themselves safe, so they could possibly be on the board, trying to avoid that. And the fact that you all orchestrated a decent chain was great. And then genuinely though, I mean, Mitch isn't here, but I think it was pure luck how he went through it. And he really was shocked that he wasn't pushed for that too. So from
He
everyone's
literally
end
had
when we
no
figured that
idea.
out. Yeah. So
Yeah, nobody said shit to me all day. I just told everybody who I pushed. Nobody used it and pushed me. And then I think I had the second longest, and Mitch said the same thing, that nobody talked to him either, and he got the longest chain.
Yeah,
I knew
wanna...
Aqua was planning something, but I didn't really care. I was like, I just want to be excluded from the narrative. Stu messaged me and was like, I'm pushing you. I'm like, okay, sounds good.
Well, because Alex messaged me, and I'm in a position in the game at that point where I want Alex to. At that point, I kind of wanted to work with Alex, and so, but I definitely needed, no matter what, for him to believe that if he told me to do something, I would do it. But then he says Jash, and I'm like, well, I haven't talked to Jash this whole game, and we're supposed to be like friendly, so I'm not going to push him without telling him. And then he was very non-committal, and finally, and then I lost my mind and started talking to D-Huck and Andrew, but finally I just ended up pushing Jash because I thought that was the best.
And we changed our entire plan because you didn't tell me fast enough, Stu.
I wondered that because then I heard that
we changed the entire plan because you didn't commit, and I was like,
"Oh, Stu doesn't want to push. Who you want him to push? I'll push him."
Yeah. So then and it was a disaster. It was pretty, and the creator is not here to talk about the plan, but yeah, it was rough. It was embarrassing. What
was the plan exactly?
I can't even tell you who was supposed to win at this point. I don't remember. One of us was supposed to win.
Well, I went in hearing that I was supposed to win.
Oh yeah, I think you were going to win.
I was busy all day at work, so like literally 30 minutes before the show, they were like, "Just push whoever I push, and you'll be good." And I'm like,
But then we realized Cassie might be winning, which at that point was not as bad of a scenario for me as Mitch winning, because Cassie and I, we haven't really talked a lot, but it would have been better for me than Mitch winning, absolutely, because you wouldn't have gone for Aqua, so at least it would have been better.
At that point, you probably would have been on my board.
That's what I thought. So that's why I was kind of hoping you would have won.
A lot of the boards were more fluid until that night. Like after that night, everyone was like, "Okay, we're not fucking around anymore." It was too crazy with everyone pushing everyone. Great comp, Hayden. Great invention.
Thank you. Really good comp. I hated it.
Social with strategy.
But it was great.
Yeah. I'm trying to think like what even, because it's so hard to strategize because like you can get everyone together to try to like get someone to win, but then a lot of you are just going to be blocked from the board. So it's.
Well, that was the original plan, and I didn't want to not be on the board because I was selfish.
Yeah. And then didn't you and Andrew ended up pushing each other or something? What was
Of course we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, we played defensively. That's what he said to me. I pushed whoever.
I think a lot of people looked at that comp too, and rather like as a opportunity to say, okay, I either want to avoid this person getting it or give myself the best scenario for possibly being on a board. I don't think people were necessarily trying to go straight for the exec, but more be qualified for the board.
Wait, and can I just mention that, like, for that comp, the poison cups, everything, Katie would submit within 1 minute of the forms being out, and then everyone would talk to them all day. Like, they could be changed. Like, literally, they took the poison cups quiz the night before. Like, they took the quiz.
I wish I had revealed Katie's score for the quiz because it was literally just
0
random.
Or like -2.
Because no one had done any cups.
I think it was like -20.
Yeah.
They were like, I don't care about these people. I'm getting my stuff in.
Literally, no one would talk to me, so I really didn't give a fuck.
You're like, no, it's okay. It's fine.
I assumed they knew the quiz didn't happen.
It's just nobody talked to me from day one, so I just didn't care.
Just you could have redone the quiz and maybe gotten a better score, but I don't know.
And then Hannah submitted all her stuff, but everyone was like freaking out about her. Like, oh, what did Hannah do? What did she do? She's gone. But she would submit everything. She just was not talking to y'all.
I wish Hannah was here. I love Hannah.
But when she did submit, though, it was like right before things were due. It's not like she was strategizing it out either. I think she was just like, oh, I gotta do some stuff. Let's go.
Yeah.
The day she left her phone at babysitting was wild. I was like, what? Where have you been?
I'll send her the link. There's no way she knows this is even happening right now.
Not a chance.
Couldn't be a chance.
There's just no way. I'll send it
I already sent it to her, but
in a text.
not in a text, no. In a
Well, then
DM.
she don't have it.
Yeah, true. That's true. Let's see. So with that, Mitch put Aqua and Leah under review. Andrew put Alex under review. Cassie put Leah. Josh put Max. Megan put Blake. Mona put Hannah. Randy and Stu both put Blake. Anyone remember what was the discussion around that board? Was it kind of cut and dry, or was there any surprises?
Well, I really enjoyed this board because this is where Josh started his narrative going with the Max thing. This is where he rogue nommed Max and then goes, and one of y'all keep trying to throw me under the bus with Max, trying to make it look like I'm rogue nomming him. And I was dying in a CR that night. I remember that. And it was wild, just genuinely to see it. People were not catching on that it really was him at that point.
I was double checking the sheet. I'm like, wow, who framed Josh? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Josh framed himself.
He has no clue we're even talking about him right now. Not a blessed clue.
I'm in two events at once. I felt bad, but no, what'd you guys just say?
Oh, how you told the board you're like, someone's trying to no one frame me by rogue nomming Max, and then you rogue nom Max.
I did not rogue nom Max. I know what y'all talking about.
Exactly.
I'm looking at it right here.
You're trying to throw me under the bus.
I did not do Gage Sienna. I don't know if you're watching. I did do you that time, but I'm happy that I didn't get the blame for doing you and that you believe that I didn't do you. But
I don't want to shade Josh. I don't want to shade Josh, but the reunion might mirror the game, and he might not pay attention a lot until about halfway through, and then he'll show up.
He was paying attention more than people thought. I think a lot of it was an act.
It really was. And
not the part on the show when he was clearly playing other veto cards, but the behind the scenes part.
Yeah.
Randy was my queen. She had me. She was protecting me earlier on. I was good. Thank you.
Yeah, when people are like, Josh hasn't been here, he hasn't spoken, I was like, what? Josh has spoke to me every day throughout the day. So I'm like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. But I was just like, yeah, he's been gone, not here. I was just going to go with it.
Okay.
That brings me to another award I wanted to do, which was social score frontrunner, and Josh was way at the top of social scores at the beginning, and honestly,
and the middle, and the end, and
yeah,
never was down.
Well, he only went down because of the trail game at the end, but
he's like, I got money burning a hole in my pocket. Let me just win this trail game, even though no one's voted me out.
Yeah, you were just it was like you were halfway there, and then but everyone was just ranking you high. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I think I was more shocked that Blake had 15 as well, because I feel like I was only beating her by a little bit, right? Coming into that episode.
Yeah, because we're almost tied.
It was a fraction of a point. Yeah. But she caught up to you though right at the end when you guys started coordinating some of those rankings.
Yeah.
Those end game scores, people were dropping huge and they were gaining huge. So
we should have known that. I'm like, Blake, there's no way Blake is low, but she's paranoid, which made me paranoid. I'm like, we've been ranking the same. She has to be high, especially when Mitch left on negative 18 after being in the top half. I was like, there's no way that she's low, but I don't know.
People took that top half, bottom half so seriously. Everyone's rankings were
right. Yeah. And even when Josh's score was revealed at the +9, I think it was at that point, and then they still kept ranking him high, knowing he was going to keep increasing that score. Yeah. So props to you.
Listen, I'm happy. This is the first time I played Black Market and was positive throughout. I'm usually a negative Nancy.
Relatable.
I think
good.
Heroes vs. Villains, you had a good social score too, if I remember right.
I think the second half. I think at first I was in the bottom. I know you did the bottom half, top half thing, and I was in the bottom half. But then Camille, Steve, and I coordinated rankings, and I ended up in the top half, towards the end as well. Yeah. But I definitely started in the bottom. I think.
Coordinating rankings work. That is what this season taught me. If you coordinate, even with 3 people, you will just decide. It is that easy.
Unless you have somebody like Carla secretly tanking you.
Especially
Carla will do it.
Game,
Carla will tell you she's going to do her rankings with you and then drop you a couple extra.
It's especially true in the end game though, because it's easier to control it more because if you have a greater percentage of people, obviously, and it's weighted the same, so it's like that's why you see
You get
all
more
the
bang
huge
for
shifts
your
at the end.
buck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to know, why did everybody rank D-Hug high? Like, if I'd known that all I had to do was go around and ask people to rank me high, I would have been doing that since day one.
That's all you had to do. It worked for Cassie.
D-Huck and Cassie.
That's literally
That
all you had to do.
strategy.
Because people don't like lying in case it gets revealed. So some people would change their rankings and be like, oh, Cassie just asked me. This could get revealed. Gotta switch it. So, yeah.
You guys were ready for reveals to come every single night, and you guys were all over strategizing for truth or dare the whole season.
And then when we canceled it, Stu was triple over strategizing. Like, they must have canceled it for a reason. Like, that we choose the comps before the season starts, guys.
Yeah. So the funny thing was, I announced that because Randy asked me in her DR a question about, like, is this something that could be asked on Truth or Dare? And I'm like, what? How do I'm just gonna say that there's no Truth or Dare, and then everyone's like, oh, that means there's a Truth or Dare like comp coming up or something, and everyone really read into it. I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I done?
I don't think I ever ranked Mitch or Randy number one, and that
I don't think
was
you did.
because
I think you always move them around in case.
Yeah, because I was worried that there would be a number one revealing comp instead of Truth or Dare. And I figure if it's, the random people that I was putting number one, especially like Jash, who I was then tanking and then won and then tanking and then won, that would help me. But obviously that didn't happen at all. So, yay.
Let's see. Mitch. So to go on with the recap, Mitch won VP again. He started entering his comp beast era. 2 comps. Yeah, he won the exact MVP that round. Saved himself. Oh no, he didn't have to save himself. He saved Hannah, Max, and Blake. And then basically Aqua left there. We all remember that night.
I don't.
Well, and then we go straight from that to you winning executive, Alex, with the.
That was our first double, right?
Yep, that was the first double. And you won the elevator comp. I don't know how you did that. Like, everyone was just letting you go in the
other
first
side
floor.
of the house flopped so hard.
They flopped so hard.
Shit the bed all
Andrew was.
over
I don't know
in
how he
house.
let me win that comp. He should have stayed on me the entire time.
Well, Andrew thought that you were potentially with him,
which is insane because of the tubes like 2 minutes before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there was no coordinated throwing at all. Just kidding.
No, I didn't throw it. They didn't throw it.
When I was in that.
Yeah, it came down to Josh, Mona, Blake, and Leah, and I was like, I know they were all going to let me win it. So Josh knew I was putting him on my board, and you were like, am I on your board? I said yes, and then Mona knew, and the rest of them all knew. So it was. I was going to put most people that had not been on boards was most of my plan, and people.
And that confirmed the sides, kind of. People were noticing the throwing at the end because you guys weren't making the best strategic decisions on the elevator floors. So it was a little bit.
No, they just. It was just.
I was like in the room. I was in the room with you and Andrew, and I literally said, I was like, "You put me on your board." You were like, "Yeah," and I left the room super quick and went to a different one.
Well,
and freaking Andrew was right there, and he heard that.
Mm-hmm. And freaking Leah sent Megan to the wrong room.
I played Megan. I played her so hard. I loved it. I was like, "Yeah, go to room 5," and there was the most people in there. She got out of it. It was so great.
It was so good.
Listen, I don't know how I escaped that without anyone being mad at me, throwing that comp, but nobody was mad at me, and I definitely threw that elevator comp.
You definitely wanted me to win it.
Goodbye.
Dash, we were in the room, and you were like, "Is he putting you on your board? On his board?" And I was like, "Yeah." You were like, "Well, shit, we're good. Stay here." Oh my god! And then he took us out that round, and I'm like, "What?"
And then
a little bit of joy for me in this game. One little bit of joy.
I get it.
So that was also the round where it was between Andrew and D-Huck, and D-Huck flipped it around with the button room, which really surprised me. They said when production told me the vote results, I was like, what the hell? I really thought it was going the other way around.
And then he goes down and he goes, "You guys send that video."
Can I also say
the button room?
What a massive mistake of those voters keeping D-Huck, who was not with them at all, over Andrew, who was fully with them. Massive mistake.
I was shocked. Shocked.
D-Huck swindled them.
I thought it was going to be a clean sweep against me. Like, everyone that was voting was on the board with him, the first round. I was like, oh, I'm screwed right here. I was pretty surprised myself.
Yeah,
that was smart use of a button room, though.
Yeah,
that was a time when the button room was used properly.
Yeah,
I don't think there was a better button room this season, for sure. That.
No, I loved Mitch's with you and Randy.
Well, I mean, but as far as changing outcomes, yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, I told D-Huck, and I would not have otherwise if I didn't 100% know he was leaving. I would never have told him I was voting him out. But then we go into that button room, and I even said, I think, to Mitch and Randy, I'm like, holy fuck. That, it was a great pitch. And, yeah.
See, Andrew did speak to me, and he said his mistake was not actually telling me or Mitch or Stu where he actually stood, just hiding so much information. It would just seem like he was with us, but he never actually told us he was with us. He didn't make any plans or talk any game. So at that point,
I think he was trying harder with you guys than D-Huck was, for sure.
Oh yeah, I didn't speak to D-Huck at all.
That's why I don't know how D-Huck stayed. He's missed his power.
Well, his main argument, if I'm correct, is Andrew's the most connected in the cast, and D-Huck was saying he's the least connected, and
but he hadn't had a chance to talk.
But Andrew's connections are superficial because even Andrew's best friends love evicting him. It's meaningless to them. He has that aura.
Awesome. But yeah. Also, to the viewers, if we do get a hype train, we will show some of the boardrooms or button rooms that you can also access if you're a patron. We'll show, so we can show the D-Huck button room too. But and just a reminder, this is going to production, 50% to production. So any
50 cents.
Any support would be greatly appreciated. Just to give a thank you to production for all their hard work this season, and thank you guys. Yeah. So where were we? Oh yeah, should we give another award?
Yeah. What am I gonna say? No.
Well, which one you want? Which one should we do? You guys tell me.
Let me go back to the list that we have. Let's go with funniest on camera.
I know that's right.
Person that we enjoyed watching.
Thank you, Stu. Just shared 1,000 bits. Just in case you need a starter for hype trains. Also, I don't care for Josh. Thanks, Stu. Thank you so much, Stu. Really appreciate it. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So big funniest on camera. We're awarding that to Mona. I don't know. Any comments you guys want to make about that?
Mona was
Thank
so
you.
fun.
I was never trying to be funny. I was just being myself.
Just we enjoy the lightheartedness of it all.
Yeah.
So
even when Mona was crying, she was it was camp. It was fun.
Yeah, it was so graceful and fun. It was just fun.
I would cast Mona on real TV.
And then we were all involved in your other org that was happening too.
You want the world to watch me flop.
I wanted you to win, Mona. I was even telling the other people that in their DRs, and they were mad at me. I was like, I'm rooting for Mona.
One of my favorite moments is Mona being like, "Hey, D-Huck, your boy Wankster said way, and D-Heck's like, who's wankster?
I loved Mona screaming for D-Huck in that like pairs comp where they had to talk to each other. And
Tuna!
She's just screaming, D-Huck!
yeah, that was funny. Paldo cheered 3-bit said Josh is okay. Thanks, Paldo.
Everyone send bits and tell us what you think about Josh.
Yeah.
That would be a fun segment.
My gosh, can we have a roast of Josh? Can we do that for a segment?
No.
You know, kick off the season of society.
Stu did it all
ready?
season. Stu did it all season. It does not need any. We don't need it anymore.
Stu, do one Josh impression.
A Josh impression?
Yeah. You're so good at those.
I don't. No, I'm not going to do a Josh impression.
He was doing them in the main chat that day. They were so good. Like, nobody DM'd me until...
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Copy.
My DMs are open, but don't DM me unless you're going to come at me with your whole, and I do use chest, and not the word that Josh likes to use. And I don't remember what else I said, but I did love Josh actually opening the window to his DMs. Like he was that important, but I guess in the end he really kind of was.
Those are always cracking me up when you're impersonating Josh in there.
Also, I accidentally impersonated Josh when, I don't know if anyone knows this, when I thought I was in my DR and I posted something really kind of mean about Max in the general chat.
Yeah, you were like, Max,
I forgot you posted it.
That really meant for your DR, you said, yeah, I fucked up.
Yeah. It was something about, oh yeah, right, Max doesn't have any alliance.
He only has like the alliance that was outed or something.
Right. But then I covered it up. And I was like, thank God I just was like making fun of Josh yesterday. I'll just act like I'm still making fun of Josh. And that, we'll get to this, I guess, soon. But that is kind of what kickstarted my relationship with Max because I hadn't talked to him at all. And that actually happened as I was talking to him. And we were able to still kind of start to trust each other. And then you all voted him out. So thank you.
Max had no idea that you meant that. He 100% believed you were impersonating Josh.
Let's see. We already kind of talked about this, but the next round was the Poison Cups competition. So yeah, we had some perfect scores there. Oh, I also do want to say Randy also had a perfect score on the quiz, but it wasn't revealed because she chose one of the Poison Cups.
Well, I didn't think Leah would lie to Mona about her cup, and then when Mona went to 2, and I'm like, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't make sense. So then I went to 2.
I didn't lie to anybody about my cup. It was very straightforward. It was because you thought I was in this trio with Leah, but we really wasn't talking, and she never told me her cup. And I just went to any cup.
Well, not necessarily the trio, because I couldn't remember who was in your trios. But she did save you with the veto day 1, so it did seem like.
And that was the first time we talked, and that was because of Josh.
And that's the crazy thing about Black Market is that exactly that. As soon as Leah saves Mona with the VP, it's like, well, they have to have something. It's like we can't process that there might be like a bigger picture, and.
You hear something once, and you run with it the whole season.
Yep. And you all know how I try to get you guys to lie in this Poison Comps game. We did get a few liars this time. We had Mitch. I think Mitch and Randy were lied the best, but people guessed your wrong cup, your deception cup.
I told everybody my cup was 6.
It was just Mitch, I think.
Mitch and Megan.
Let me go back to this sheet.
Mitch and Megan.
Oh, maybe it's Megan. Well, it's definitely Mitch for sure.
Mitch gave me his wrong cup 2 minutes before the form was due.
Yeah.
That was a bad mistake, giving D-Hug the wrong cup, in my opinion, because I think it completely turned D-Hug
Yeah,
that was the first time we started. That was the first time we actually started really talking because you were like,
he was really mad.
You would think, but then Mitch like didn't realize D-Hook would be ever upset about that and was still acting like they had D-Hook in their pocket. That was driving me nuts. Like, I'm like, D-Hook hates you guys. Like,
And that was
it's never gonna happen.
The round after, I was trying to pitch for them that I wanted to work with them. Then he sent me the wrong cup right away. So I was like, well, they don't want to work
couldn't believe it after they all voted to save you.
Yeah.
So
Let's save D-Hook and then throw him in the garbage.
Yeah.
So, Randy, the reason I thought you did, Katie and Leah both guessed your Deception Cup, but Katie obviously was guessing.
I didn't tell anybody
Yeah,
a Deception
It's just
Cup.
chance, I guess. So
I didn't even, once I filled out the form, I didn't remember my Deception number, and I was like, well, I'm just going to tell everyone 6, because I didn't know what my number was.
Well, for some reason, Leah guessed Cup 12 also. Leah, I don't know if that was just a random chance thing or if you're still there. But
yeah, that was random as hell. I didn't know.
So I guess 2 people just accidentally guessed your Deception Cup. It was funny. And then Sienna, Mona, and D-Huck all fell for Mitch's Deception Cup. Those were the lies though. Those are the only ones I see on the graph here. And this is also when Cassie was in Lambeau Field.
Lambeau Gate?
Yes. Which brings me to another award that I just want to say now, which is weirdest exec, weirdest exec location or situation, which definitely Lambeau Field has to win that. Although Randy being in the car is an honorable mention. We had some strange exec situations this season, but let's see.
Do you know how many weird looks I got from people around me when I'm like, you should put this person under review and I'm going to put this person under review, and they're just like, yeah, we have a touchdown that just happened.
Yeah, I can't.
We could hear you very clearly. Like, somehow the mic was really Like, I feel like we heard you better then. Like, your little.
Like, we didn't hear any of the background noise with you there, which we, I guess, expected to.
Yeah.
But
it's the wire mic. That's the move.
Yeah.
If you had AirPods, that would not have been the case.
Yeah, no, that one was wild, and that was when I was like, all right, I need D-Hub to be more on my side, so I'm bringing him on my board. And then I also needed Max to come too, because I couldn't use the excuse that D-Hub wasn't on a board and not put Max on my board.
Oh, I thought you did it so I wouldn't nominate him.
Oh, I just told everybody that. Everyone thinks that I just like work with Max automatically, and that's just really not the case. Like, anybody that's here that was in Society or watched Play Society, I mean, Josh, you know, I threw Max under the bus left and right, and I conspired his ass out of that game. And then, sorry, Max, if you're watching me. And then this game, everyone is like, okay, well, Cassie's got Max, and really, like, Max leaving was better for my game.
So let's see who was under review here. We had it was Blake, Leah,
who do you think?
Blake, Leah, Alex, and Hannah and Mona. Yeah, so but Alex, you won the VP there, and you saved yourself, Blake, and Leah.
Yeah.
King shit.
Of course.
yes.
Of course. Because at that point, it was like, I could have said, I thought about, like, Mona was also someone I was going to say, but I was like, everyone already was like, the trio, Alex, Blake, Leah. So I was like, what's my, like, everyone, that was what everyone was saying. So it's like, let's just lead into it, whatever. And I felt great with them, so.
I feel the same.
Mona was not supposed to be nominated. Like, I was shook when I saw Mona up there, because she was not discussed at all. And it was, like, discussed, like, a solid 4 people. And
do you guys want to guess who put Mona under review?
Oh, wait, was that the round, Allison, that we were thinking they were so stupid because they needed to nominate 4 and then they nominated 5 and let all the people they were targeting stay? That was so upsetting. Mitch
crazy.
shit the
I couldn't
bed.
believe it.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
It was
That was
great.
one of the first of many.
Because of that
many
rogue vote,
mistakes.
though.
Well, no, it was Mitch, and Mitch only did it because he didn't think anybody was gonna do a fourth. But Stu
had volunteered, and he trusted Stu, so I think he just was doing it extra.
But there was a few times where Stu said like I can't do Blake, and then did Blake. So we didn't know if Stu was actually gonna do a rogue nom. So Mitch is like, "Fuck it, I'm doing Mona," and then Stu's like, "Hey, I did Hannah," and we're like, "Fuck."
Well,
we
Stu
did
say,
and
like,
Hannah was
nobody
also
worry,
a
I'll do
bad
it.
choice, Stu. Like, she was, of course, gonna leave then. No one would, like, she was gone the moment.
I saved her and got ranked last.
Except that Hannah was
Obsessed
supposed to
with
be
her. Icon.
Except
The way
Hannah
she
was
did that
supposed to be
blacklist.
someone who would not even factor in. Like, it would be one of the three. I thought the
Yeah, and then you saw it was a comp that you could give up everything for, and you knew I would give up literally everything to win that comp. So
I had no way of knowing that either.
That's true.
For sure.
I was not losing that fucking comp.
Yeah, there was no way. I gave up shit too. It was just me and you.
Can I just say about Alex and to Alex that if Aqua just makes a group chat, just makes it. She doesn't have to care about it or ever talk in it. If she just makes Alex, Gage, Stu, Aqua,
And Gage and Aqua wouldn't have been the first two people out of the game.
Different game. Totally different game. But I digress.
All right. I don't know why it never got made, but it's just.
I think it just fell through the cracks. It wasn't like intentional.
And Gage wasn't there very much, and I loved Gage. I wanted to go really far with Gage, but a lot of people were saying they weren't talking to him. So.
And the only reason I noticed is because I didn't have any alliances other than Mitch and Randy. So for me, it was like a big deal. For other people, it was nothing. Like I already had. Well, I got these 5 others, so it's easy to forget.
And yeah, I mean, I also I didn't have very many alliances either, but it was.
But it happens.
Yeah, it was sad. It was not a fun round. Again, I was sad that Hannah left.
Yeah, we loved Hannah.
And it was giving me the drama.
I was sad she left too.
Yeah. And that was
That was the best blacklist of the season. Are you kidding me? Come on. Where's her award for that blacklist? Who wants a spot? And then poor Cassie laughed. It was the funniest thing that ever happened.
And Cassie was her only vote to stay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, my God.
Cassie was like half listening in the button room, and she's like, "Oh, we're in the button. Are we flipping like we did with D-Huck? Okay, I'm in." No one flipped.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Cassie at the bottom. Yeah.
Who stayed next to Hannah?
It was Mona. It was
Mona.
6-1. So it wasn't even. That was like the first non-close vote of the season. It was. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah, Cassie being the only one. To vote out Mona. There.
Mona, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which. I remember it was in your DR, you were like, fuck it, I said I wouldn't vote her out, and I'm voting Mona. It was like, yeah.
There was a button room with that.
Yeah.
My only ally
button rooms can be game changing.
Night. My only fucking ally went home, and I voted her out because I knew nobody else was keeping her except Cassie, and I'm like, motherfucker, I'm screwed now. And,
I
was just
Katie and Hannah. Like I shipped their love of each other. That was like my favorite one-on-one. I think was Katie and Hannah. It just was taken too soon. They could have been something.
I know. She's great.
What was I gonna say? All right, should we do another award before we go to the next round?
You go ahead and do them whenever you want, Hayden. We support you.
It's sort of a rhetorical question, but it's like what
It's just like when he says, "Production, are you ready to record?" He already knows the answer.
No, that's real. He seems nervous that we're not going to do it every time because he wants to see.
No, I know they're going to do it, but I know I always know Alice is going to do it, but I just ask because I'm like, because the one time I forget to ask it, that's.
I'll take too many edibles and then you won't get a recording.
Yeah,
is what it is.
All right, you guys don't want to pick one?
I I picked the last one, so it's on Danny or Paige or Jess or anybody else.
Oh, I'm not picking. I don't care at all.
My God.
All right.
I'm yelling at me and Stu are fighting.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna. We're gonna fight privately.
All right. Well, this one. I'm just gonna give a couple out that we've kind of already talked about. So, yeah, most shocking exit would be Andrew, which that was the D-Huck button room. So that one for sure. See, I already did that one.
Biggest turning point?
Biggest turning point was, definitely the dominoes. Like that was when the divide really like started, and like really the whole game basically evolved from the dominoes. So,
it showed where people stood.
Yeah.
Season 17, start strategizing dominoes now. It's coming back.
You think we're letting them manipulate any more of these comps? We're coming fresh with all new stuff.
I do have a question.
I don't know.
There'll be 85 more rules. Come on.
100%. That will be a comp, is reading the rule book and being able to give a summary of it.
Yeah. What were you saying, Danny?
I have a very big question. I don't think anyone will answer it, but I will ask Stu and Alex at least to give an opinion. If we ran the same season again next week, all the comps are the same, the cast is the same, you all have the knowledge you have now, who's winning?
Oh, God.
I'm walking day
I
one.
want Hannah to win. So that's what I want to
I do feel like it's a non-aggressive middler. So like a Hannah or a Sienna.
I would want to work with Sienna hardcore because I feel like Sienna got a very bad edit.
I actually think Sienna wins because everyone would be like, nobody was with you, I guess. Most of the time.
I felt so
and that's something I think a lot of people had the wrong reads on her in the beginning, and from the production standpoint, we just sat there, we watched it, we knew she had a low score from the get-go. That was revealed night one. And then it was really down. You guys saw it on the score sheet.
The Revolution side, every other line I read from them was, oh, you know Sienna's with them. You know she's not with us. Sienna's with them. They're all best friends with her. No.
Okay, but do you guys remember that message she sent me about who was going to be with who? Her reads were just, who did I send that to? Either Cassie or Stu? Of who, like, Sienna said we were together. And she said my number one person would have been Max. And I was just like, probably not. But no, she sent me a whole list of like who was going to be with who. And the reads were not good. But that should have been my first clue.
I should have trusted that after she wasted a button room on me that she really was loyal, but I still didn't trust her.
She
literally just wanted
true.
It's not your fault, Alex. You were with her after that, and then every person you mentioned it to on your side was like, no.
Yeah, and then I had a VC with her during the VC weekend, which we'll get to. But during my moment, but it was so like. I just didn't get anything from Sienna. She would not really give me any information except I've got you and I'm going to put you on my boards. So I was too nervous to really trust her. I wish I could have because Sienna's amazing, but it just was not vibing.
Keisha Cheer 10-bit said, I'll pick one. Maybe I'll send you a list, Keisha. Maybe you can pick the next one.
Hi, Keisha. Send more bits and tell us what you think of Jash.
Keisha was robbed of All Stars. I wish Keisha was here.
She didn't apply.
Keisha did not apply.
Yeah.
She would have been picked.
And that was another thing, too. I feel like so many people wanted to see people on here, but so many people did not apply that we would have loved to have so many different
we got too many
seasons,
complaints
stuff like
about
that,
this
too.
test.
Yeah. It was great. We loved it. But everyone calling us out, people who weren't here, they didn't apply.
I also think people in the community don't always know who's friends with who. That's just my read on it.
Yeah.
If they thought that I was friends with Randy, that was a misread. Yes.
Yeah. Everyone thinks me and Stu are so close.
Even
and
I misread that, and then I did a voice DR with Randy, and she was like, Stu is not my friend.
I didn't. We're friends now, but like Stu doesn't take any offense to the fact that I said, like, we weren't really friends before this at all. But
well, Randy, I will say there was big drama about your Christmas card with who got your Christmas card versus who didn't.
I'm done. I'm never sending Christmas cards ever again. So Danny, keep the one on your fridge because it's gonna be the last.
No, I think I should still get them, but like Andrew
definitely was talking about your Christmas card, Randy. I was telling people who got it, who didn't get it. I was telling people about your Christmas card.
Like day one, through Andrew threw you under the bus.
Andrew, it was like, I can't believe anyone who has her card on their fridge wouldn't be friendly.
Yeah. Katie never even got hers. I don't know where that one is.
There was a list of people with and without Randy's Christmas card. Yes. And you're like, why are people pretending they're not friends with Randy? She's on their fridge.
Yeah, Andrew was like, if you've got a Christmas card, you're definitely working together.
But I think that's the biggest misconception in this community is you can be friends with somebody and you can hold them out. Like, that's the biggest misconception.
Okay. I'm with you, but you give them your address? I don't know. I'm with you, but
I gave Randy my address right away.
I'm not giving a lot of people my address. I don't like to leave my name.
I just want to say Allison has left me in the dark 2 seasons in a row now, so she's not even giving me her address.
Oh, Randy, she let me go visit her home. So I guess I'm a little more in with Allison. We celebrated Hanukkah.
Well, if I fly to New Jersey,
we did celebrate Hanukkah.
You know who hasn't seen my home? Alex fucking Snow has not seen
She's been hunting him down, like, even during the season. She goes, when are you coming to visit me?
I'm not even in New York State right now.
I will visit you in Delaware. I told you I live in both places.
That's crazy. I forgot you had the Delaware connection too.
What Danny wants, Danny gets. You should know that.
No, Alex. I don't get Alex Snow. Certainly, I'm having trouble. But I did get Randy.
I'm not gonna give up. I'll tell you that much.
All I'm gonna say is I do have a huge list of people's address, and y'all would be shocked who's on it. But that's my list, and no one's gonna find out.
And it's not Allison.
And it's not Allison, so I will evict her.
Thank you. I'm already targeting your eviction. Anyway.
Stu cheered 1,000 bits, said Alex Snow is a king and his legal name is Alex Snow. Thank you, Stu.
Stu is single-handedly supporting this Twitch.
Want to hear what I said to Stu in his DM? I said,
thank you, Stu.
I said, thank you for paying us at the Stu Pays Production Live event. That was my DM to Stu.
You can take Stu out of the Twitch, but you can't take the Twitch out of Stu.
Believe me, I miss spectating a lot.
I mean, I could have helped you out with that if you told me.
True.
So this next round was leading into the bloodbath. This was the round where D-Huck asked everyone to rank him 1, and
they said, "Sure thing, King. Anything."
Did I do that? I might have done that.
Do you want me to check? I can check.
No, you put me at 2.
Yeah, you ranked him 2.
You ranked him at 2.
So I was trying to predict a comp, and it actually was the one that I thought it would be. But you did the first day ranking, so I was ready to obliterate that comp. Yeah. But then you changed it to first week, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Blake had to sit out of it. I was a fucking pissed.
Yeah, because she had to sit out, and it was a bloodbath. So I was trying to predict that one.
Would have been my only points.
You would have had 2 points.
Yeah, the only.
That's how I got my 2 points, because D-Huck wrote me and was like, hey, I did rank you number 1 on day 1. This was before the comp. And then I was like, I thought about that when the comp started, and he said day 1 rankings. And I'm like, I had to do you second and pretend like it was a surprise. I'm like, oh.
That comp finally let the other side let go of D-Huck. They were like, oh, D-Huck ranked Mona first. We can finally set him free.
Oh, yeah. That's another, Mitch and Randy were potentially going to leave Stu off the board and put D-Huck
for D-Huck, and I was going to, block them. Like, what?
Oh, my God.
It was going to be such a massive mistake.
Mind.
They were like, who should we be with? D-Huck?
But the reason they didn't do that, because going into the episode they were going to do that, was because D-Huck ranked Mona 1, day 1. And that...
They were like, oh, they must
going
be
into
friends.
that, I think you would have been on most boards, because I would not have been on anyone's board. But the Mona thing changed it.
And we had never talked, and I was surprised when he told me that he ranked me number 1 on day 1. I was really not friends with any of you, so that's crazy.
I wasn't really around at the beginning, though, so I kind of just put them together, so.
But I think I think it was Mitch, and he said if D-Huck wasn't around, he must have ranked Mona 1 because, like, he knew she could be his number 1 or, like, whatever. Like, it just kind of made sense. Like, if you weren't here, you might have just based it off, like, who you were friends with. And
But we just played a game together. That's kind of why I did it. We played in Tier 7 together.
We played Jigsaw together.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
What do you you had such a good era by yourself.
We did play Jigsaw together. I forgot that.
Oh yeah, you were there too. Yeah.
I was shocked more people weren't accusing D-Huck and Mona of having a final 2.
I literally forgot about the Jigsaw thing because D-Huck had mentioned it, and I was like, oh yeah, we did play that together. You were in that game.
You never know.
Yeah. So yeah, D-Huck's score there from the rankings though shot up 6.79 points just from rankings alone that round. So
and that's why I was so confident in that investment comp for that on Final 5. I felt like really good about it.
Yeah, and
you were like really strategizing the fuck out of that. You were utilizing those rankings. That was good.
Yeah, I felt really good about it, but I knew I should have went that day 1.
Yeah, if you had gone from day 1, you would have. That was the best investment you could have done. And it was still close compared to the other one. With the way you did it, but just not quite. Let's see what happened in this bloodbath though after that. So we had Mitch, Randy, and Stu on the board, on the one branch, and then on the other branch. Oh, Josh won. Josh won on the other branch, right?
Thank God.
And somehow didn't make a single enemy when he should have made so many. That is when I was head over heels for you, Josh. You
were getting frustrated though that he was just going board to board, and when he wasn't on the board, he wasn't getting nommed.
Like, Josh, you played like a perfect game, and like I was like, oh, the people that he doesn't put on his board are gonna be mad. No, they were still like kissing the ring, like did not care.
I think it's because I had a good excuse to put Cassie and Alex on my board, so I feel like everybody knew that. And plus, everybody wanted to be nominated because it was a bloodbath. So I was like, well, no one's going to be pissed at going up because they want to protect themselves with the VP. It was perfect.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. And then, then we lost Leah and Max there in the bloodbath. You guys fully got rid of season 15 at that point. Yeah.
They were the first 5 out or something. It was like insane.
Yeah.
No, I was after Max, so that technically
in the same.
I think technically I revealed yours first, Leah. I'm not sure. And I think the reason I did it was like I have to make all season 15 be in a row. But yeah, you guys. I don't think he did it on purpose, but it was crazy that it was just all season 15 at the beginning.
I outlasted them though, so again, technically I won.
Yeah.
So I'll take it.
Yeah, you won season 15 again. Yeah.
Maybe it's because their games were fresher in everyone's mind. Everyone like just kind of remembered them more.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure.
As the most recent one. People don't remember the dinosaur times.
Yeah, so let me do another award. You guys probably already know this. Most improved social score, that would be D-Huck, with what we were just talking about. So no surprise there, but
oh, slow clap by Stu over there. See that there?
I'm just sick of this guy, honestly.
Are you tired
that is the biggest lie of the season. Stu is borderline has a crush on D-Huck.
Shut up.
My God, he's blushing.
When D-Huck, you messaged Stu after the game, and Stu DM'd me that he was blushing.
Oh, really?
He was like,
because you give me so many problems about D-Huck, like, and how I handled D-Huck. And it was important to me that I not, like, truly work against him in this game. And that's a weakness. Like, I should have just been trying to cut throats, but that was something that was important to me, and
You're a very good friend, Stu.
It was a mistake to do it. No, I suck. Like, he would have understood. Like, that's the thing about D-Huck. Like, I could have been like, fuck D-Huck from time one, and then I could have DM'd him after, and he'd been like, that's okay, I don't care. You know.
But I think there was something in you that wasn't going to let you do that, and you knew it.
And it was your crush.
Cutest crush of the season, Stu's crush on D-Huck. Congratulations.
Absolutely.
That's an official award. So this next round, probably, I would say the second biggest turning point in the game. It was the blob comp. Cassie won the blob comp, and that's when the non-board members were like, we're just not getting on any of these boards. And yeah, you guys want to talk about that moment? It was kind of an emotional night.
Yeah, that's when y'all were like,
what?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
It was fun. For me, it was very emotional because I was hearing, like, first of all, it started, I was like hearing, like, when I was talking to people were telling me, like, oh, you're in all these alliances. And I'm like, I'm not, though. I literally started building my alliances after I realized I kept getting freaking nominated, like, under review. And it was just annoying because it's like, it reminded me of when I played Black Market in season 10. And it just always felt like nobody wanted to work with me. Like, they just, like, kept making all these narratives about me, and it was just very annoying. And people that I thought were with me weren't with me. Like, me, I'm a very, like, loyal person once I know I can trust you. And it was like I got pushed in ways to work with people who I wasn't even trying to work with. Like Leah, who I had literally no conversations with. I got pushed to work with her. Wasn't really talking to Blake. I feel like I got pushed to work with her because people were already, like, grouping me with these people that I wasn't even trying to work with. And it just got really frustrating and annoying because, like, I don't think I've ever played a game where I've ever felt like people just wanted to work with me. I've always felt like I'm pulling teeth to work with them. And that was my thing.
That's very sad. Everyone should work with Mona. She's like the best ally ever.
Yeah,
I do think people that were working with you had a great time with you, and they, even if they didn't start out wanting to, they were so thankful that they found you and appreciated you after the fact.
That was the episode that we put together, the Revolution. Like, we made it before that episode.
Shout out the Revolution.
And we actually thought it could be the Blob, so we had a strategy for it, but we all knew that we were going first, so it was like there's only so much
Why
we
wasn't
could
it a strategy? Talk in main chat.
Which was
we were so stupid. They would not listen to me. I'm like, you bitches. I get like a lot of turn orders. Talk in the fucking main chat. I'm not going to talk in there because I don't want an advantage and I don't want to start a turn order, but y'all should go in there.
I was almost rooting against the Revolution.
They would not do it.
This is lazy.
It was so embarrassing.
Talk in main chat.
We were all first. Me, Mona, and Alex went first.
We were all in the beginning, of course, and that was a fun night for me.
So that night that I volunteered for exec, my DR, I was like, hi, I cannot win exec tonight because I would struggle with my board. I think it would look like me, Randy, Mitch, Megan, Stu, and Mona. But I promised Alex a spot on my board, and I know Josh would be upset, and then I leave poor D-Huck off. But I want to start building trust with Mona. And then Sienna helped give me that exec, so I had to take Mona off the board and put Sienna on it. But I literally said in my DR, I'm like, I cannot win this exec, and then I'm first to volunteer for it. So
I thought there was a chance you were leaving Sienna off, just like a real fuck you. I was nervous.
It wouldn't have surprised us the way the trends were going.
So I have a lot to say about this episode, but my first question is for Cassie. Why did you promise me a board spot?
I
just didn't really understand.
I thought it was going to be a double bloodbath, and then it wasn't.
And then you were like, oh, yeah, well, because even you were like, Cassie in her defense was like, well, I got you tomorrow too, just in case, but don't worry. And I was like, okay. And then I literally, during the episode, right before we go into breakout rooms, I was like, okay, Cassie, we had a deal. Really excited.
I know. And that's like, I literally was like, okay, well, shit, I either break a deal right now, or I put him on my board and piss somebody else off, or I put myself off the board, but then I'm definitely leaving. So it was kind of like, how many people can I afford to piss off tonight?
Stu cheered 400 bit, said work with Mona. Thanks, Stu.
Agreed.
Work with
I
Mona.
had a great time working with Mona.
Love Mona.
I will say Mona thought I I was more against her than I really was. I nominated her that first day, and then I didn't nominate her for a second time until after she nominated me. I didn't nominate her a single time between then. I stayed true to the ceasefire.
Oh, thank you. And also, yeah, I had to get my lick back, so I definitely nominated you after you did me.
Yeah. But then
I'm gonna be like straightforward. I'm not like, once you nominated me that first time, I was like, yeah, let's not do this. But honestly, I didn't give a fuck after that. I was like, fuck this girl. I think in the group chat, I was like, fuck Randy. And I was like, I didn't care after that. I was like, I'll tell you whatever to tell you. I don't think you're going to believe me, but I'm not going to back off of you. I don't give a fuck. Like, that's just how I felt. Because I was like really wanting to work with you. First going into it, I literally never filled your cup in the first comp because I wanted you to win. And then you put me under review, and I was like, what a slap in the fucking face. Make me look like a fool, fuck you. That's just how I felt.
That's fine. Like I said, you just thought I was more against you than I actually was, so.
Well, I didn't have anyone against me when I wasn't against anyone, and I was really calm that whole episode. So.
That was fun.
Is this the episode everyone was crying and I missed it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
This was a very emotional episode.
Everyone was crying, and even some people weren't crying, but people thought they were crying just because everyone looked so
I didn't know
sad.
what happened. I came back with the wrong tea. I was like, Stu, are you okay? I heard you cry last night.
It was a mess. It was a mess. Who won the
I've been saying this whole season with like misconceptions.
So many people were crying. I got 3 texts asking if I was okay. Like,
it was a disaster.
Yeah, I was fine.
Yeah, and then there was the geography, right? Yeah.
Oh my god.
So that's when Stu
the
won
worst
the
possible comp. Hayden, if you never do another comp, that was horrible. I was so sad. I was literally like, I didn't even try the last couple rounds. I literally went to my DR and started asking for my button room because I was like, I'm not winning this comp. It's not even worth trying. I was so slow. And
I was making my blacklist. I was like,
I was too. That's what I started doing. That's what I started doing too. You were never going home, but
I will say this, Alex. You should have asked for the button room after the breakout room, so people can talk him out of it.
Yeah, it was wrong. And I should have. I don't know. I don't know if Stu was. I know you. I was surprised that you really were struggling with that decision, but like,
Stu loved you.
I know, but I was like, I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
It was.
Stu, is that Kiki?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, she was delivering another drink.
She came through the office wall. Yeah.
So a lot of things happened. I really wish I now hadn't won that comp. But you have me who loves Alex. And the only group I have, I keep going back to this, but it's fucking true. The only group I have is Mitch and Randy. And Mitch wants Alex out. So I win a VP and Alex talks to me and I'm like, I really want to save Alex. But then Blake and I, who have these issues with each other the entire season, tells me to save I was going to save Katie and Alex. Initially I was going to save Katie and Mona. Then had the button room and I was like, well, maybe I'll save Katie and Alex. And then Blake tells me to save Mona, and I said against no matter who else I save, and she said yes. And I thought, and that confused me. And then too many things were in my head. And at that point I was like, well, if I save Alex, is that going to lose me Mitch? And if I lose Mitch, then I have no alliances.
Well, I'm telling you, I would have won that screaming comp in 5 seconds, and Mitch would have been on the block, and I would not have.
That's the first night that I threw my phone at the screen for Stu. That was the first of many.
Except that, let's be honest, Alex, if I flip at that point and go to you and your allies,
it was it was not a great move for you. My move to save me, it really wasn't. I'm going to be honest with you, it was not.
I didn't even think it was an option. That's why I said save
that was
Mona.
why I said Mona.
was like,
I mean, I was like, what I should have done, but obviously I was never going to do this. But the only way I really think I could have saved was if I talked to Katie and Mona, because I think I could have maybe pushed that if I did the button room, but I wasn't going to do it. It didn't make sense to me. Blake and I where obviously everyone knew we were together. But I mean, I think I do want to bring up, sorry, the elephant in the room of this whole season, and I think it's time we talk about it. Is this whole preconceived notions and all these conversations, because obviously that was the whole theme of this whole freaking season, was who's friends with who knows who's going to work with who. So I just want to explain my point of view as to why I was playing the way that I was, and why I was doing what I was doing, and what I was getting back, because genuinely, after Aqua left, and I know I was with Leah, I was with Mona, Josh, whatever, but I was ready that weekend to work with any single person if they would be willing to talk to me. I was literally to Blake, I was like, if I can get on the phone with Cassie, I will go Cassie, Randy, you to the end. Like, I would have done anything, because I wanted to get to the end no matter how I could get to the end. I was going to do whatever I needed to do, but I just was getting dead end after dead end after dead end. I mean, Randy and I had a great conversation. I loved talking to you, but it wasn't like, you didn't tell me a lot of information. It was like just a really good conversation, but it wasn't like, you didn't tell me who you were good with. You didn't tell me, because I was even thinking I would have worked with Mitch. I was like willing to, because to me it would have been great shield for me. The only person who's a bigger target than me. But that was my perception. And I know people go against their friends. Like, as I said, when I left, I played with Cassie amazingly. I played with Randy amazingly. Both of you. I've never played with Mitch amazingly. Sorry. But that was where it was. It wasn't like me just coming in, oh, these people aren't going to be friends. It was the actions, because you guys were on every single board. It was boards. It was what I was seeing. It was not what I was being told. And that's why I said what I said. Yes.
Alex, I don't want... You can go, Cassie.
I think a lot of those first few boards were a lot of like paying back, like, because Randy won and then put us on our board. So then when Mitch won, he was on Randy's board, so he repaid the favor. And then when I won, I was repaying both of their favors, and then Josh repaid favor. And that's kind of how it started. And then I know you tried to reach out to me a lot that weekend, but I really was so sick.
No, of course.
And that was like totally on my fault. And if we would have actually been able to connect, I think the whole trajectory of the game for us would have been totally different.
Agreed.
I also, oh, my bad. No, go ahead, Randy.
My point of view is between you and Blake, myself, Cassie, and Megan. I mean, I don't think Cassie and Megan spoke at that point, but I spoke to both of them. So because you two were trying with all three of us, it just didn't seem as genuine as like you were just looking for numbers and anyone and everyone. So it just like, I just didn't know how much I could actually trust it, because it didn't seem like you were trying to have a connection with me, to work with me. It was just, you were just reaching out to anyone and everyone. And I just didn't want to be someone that you could just grab or you could just pull in, and I would just be, and I know me and Cassie said, like, we didn't want to be the third wheel to you and Blake. We wanted people who wanted to work with us to work with us, not just that extra person to you two. Because every time we spoke to, well, not me personally, but I think, I don't know if it was Cassie or Megan, but like anytime we spoke to like either of you guys, it always included the other. And I didn't want that.
But on the counter of that, to me, like, if I had not included Blake and I had not said Blake, like, for example, Aqua, when I started in this game, I literally was like, I'm not even working with Aqua. I was just literally telling, which I wasn't going to, but everyone's like, oh, you're friends with her, there's no way. If I had started alliances without Blake, people would be like, you're clearly not telling me the truth. Like, why would I be like,
I'm personally not like that, and I don't like playing like that. I didn't watch your guys' season. I didn't know you guys were as close as you are. I didn't know that information until I was told that. But I didn't care. That didn't bother me. But because you put that as like how everyone else was going to approach it, it kind of pushed it on the rest of us. You didn't give us a chance to just have that one-on-one connection.
But on that side, though, you also had people that you were never going to not be with. So it's like you were clearly with Mitch. You were with Mitch the whole time.
No, I came in, and production can confirm, I didn't have like, I'm coming in working with this person. I was an open book, clean slate. I had no, like, you guys have, like, yeah, you were coming in to work with your friends. That's not how I play, and that's not what I wanted to do.
Your main thing at the beginning was the season 9 people, right?
Yeah, I think that if Randy could have chosen, she would have chosen Cassie and Aqua.
Well, the thing is,
absolutely, I would have.
Stu put a lot of work in with Randy, and Mitch put a lot of work in with Randy, and you guys became more important than that group quick. But right immediately, she was talking more with Cassie and Aqua.
And I knew that, obviously, but like, no, it was just not being. And I mean, also, like, you can say you didn't trust me, whatever, but you were on the phone with me for 2.5 hours, so I would never have done that if I thought like. And then literally the next day, I am almost out twice. I mean, it's just like you have to understand.
But then you just said that conversation was kind of more one-sided and not genuine.
Well, you didn't.
So how can you say that when we were on the phone for 2.5 hours?
But you're also saying you literally just said to me that you didn't trust that I was with you. So in what world? What I don't understand. I don't understand where the misconnect for you is, because I just said it was a great conversation, and then you said, oh well, you only wanted to work with Blake. So, and I didn't feel like I was ever going to be able to work with you, which, like,
that's not what I said. But I also didn't get a chance, and me and Blake had this conversation. I didn't have a chance to prove myself because I didn't win anything until after you were gone. So what do you want me to say? I wasn't against you. I just didn't get a chance to do anything about it. Yet you guys are saying that if I won that Monday and won exec, who says you weren't going to be on my board after the conversation we had? You don't know that.
Right. I don't know that. But I don't know. I am explaining where I'm coming from, and everyone has their own POV. And this is where it was actions. And yes, maybe you didn't have the opportunity to show, but that's where my point of view was. And you were also not the main problem to me, Randy, if it's going to be honest. It was really, Cassie knows it was that Cassie didn't talk to me, and it was what it was. And we're fine, and we'll be fine. And Mitch literally did not respond to me one time. So it was more there. But it did feel, you have to understand why it felt a certain way to other people. I mean, obviously you have to understand that.
Quite honestly, I think a lot of this season's dramas, like notions of people working together and all of that stuff, stemmed from, and I don't mean this in any shadeful way, but it all stemmed from Aqua, because Aqua was in so many people's ears and telling people, this person's working with this person, this person's working with this person, while we're working with her, so we trust that she's telling us this. And then it turned out the way it turned out.
I mean, I'll be honest, I pushed a lot of narratives as well, secretly, and I'm happy that nobody threw me under the bus, but
I wanted to, but I did not, because I
straight
trusted
up
you.
Lied and said that I was in an alliance with like Cassie, Randy, Mitch, Stu.
But the thing was, you didn't have to lie though, because we were all, even it helped it, but like we were always going to go after those people at that point because they were on boards without us. I mean, we were getting left off all those boards.
But there was still no alliance. There was no alliance.
Whether or not there was an alliance or not, you were all working together. So whether or not it wasn't,
we weren't.
You were on the boards. How were you not working together? You were on every board.
I don't know. Other. You tell me. But we weren't working together.
Maybe
I don't
you weren't coordinating an effort, but you were all on the same boards. You were maybe okay. I don't understand how you can't see it because it's on the street. If you want to go back and watch the season, you will see who was obviously working with who. It's obvious. I was working with Josh. I was working with Mona. I was working with Blake. I was working with Aqua. I was working with D-Hug. I was working with Leah. Period. That's it. And you cannot say that you were not working with the other side because that's what you were doing. That's what it was. It's what it was.
We weren't in an alliance. Like
that
Megan
doesn't matter. I'm not saying it was an alliance.
Okay, I would like to drag both of you a little bit.
Sure.
Randy first. Not to drag Randy, but yes, there was no big alliance on the other side, but if you take the individual duos, trios, one-on-ones, if you put them all together, you were all working towards a common goal against the other side, even though it wasn't talked about.
There's also like the Zoom moment, right? Those kind of.
But I want to drag Alex too, because a lot of fans reached out to me about this, and Alex, you're literally, I'm obsessed with you. I love you so much, but I got the same question by a lot of people. Why is Alex allowed to be friends with Aqua and Blake and work with them, but then Randy can't work with Mitch without it being a problem.
It wasn't that. It wasn't. I completely get that, and I addressed it on my way out. If we go back and watch, but I'm not saying I'm not hypocritical. I'm not saying that I don't make mistakes, but at the same time, it's the same narrative. I mean, I came into this game day one, and Andrew, to me, in my DM said, "I will not play with you. I will not trust you because Aqua is in this game," and that is what happened.
Bless his heart.
And that was to me. And I don't even always play with Aqua. I voted her out before. I'm not, again, in the same way that everyone is saying that about their friends. I'm not inseparable, but and it's what it is. But I get it. If people want to say I'm a hypocrite, that's fine. I will own it. But
it's not just you. I think everyone works with their friends. I know that we also evict our friends.
No, except Randy. Randy doesn't, apparently, but everyone else does.
I also think that me and Alex probably, if we had a better feeling, that wouldn't happen. Like, we probably would have fought against each other eventually.
I know. Blake wasn't going to sit next to me this time.
You two are like lovers. I don't think.
I did love that.
I'm going to say no.
I don't. No, because I do think that Alex, like, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, Alex, I think the trajectory of our last season, he thinks I played better than him, and I think he wasn't going to let that happen again. And I think he would have turned on me.
Yeah, I think Alex would have turned on you. I don't think you would have turned on him.
No, and that's fine. But he would turn on me.
I don't know that I would have this game, but I think I could. I don't know. I think I was.
He only would have at like Final Four with a sure thing, and he'd be like, "I have to."
Yeah.
I would have let him. He could stab me in the heart.
Aqua cheered 1-bit, said period Alex, and Stu cheered 400-bit, said Alex final 2 in the replay, question mark.
No, I'm going to be final 2 with Randy, because we're going to make up and I'm going to apologize. But she's mad at me, but it's fine.
No, Randy.
No, I'm not mad. I just don't. I didn't come in here to play with my friends when you literally said you're a hypocrite. Came in with your friends. You want to say I'm a liar? Go for it. I don't fucking play with my friends. Never have. And I don't care. You can think what you want because apparently I'm friends with everyone, so it's fine.
I think where Randy went wrong, or where she got kind of caught up, is that she wanted to work with different people that had different connections. So, like, she wanted to work with me, but I had different connections. She wanted to work with Mitch, but he had a different agenda. She wanted to work with Cassie, and, you know, Cassie split. I don't know, like, who Cassie's intention was to work with. So when she has to juggle all of those people, and all of those people have different agendas and want different things, I think that just kind of blurs the lines. And it's probably the same thing with you too, Alex, as well. Unfortunately, Aqua did that domino comp or whatnot, and I think that kind of fell back on you as well when that was going on.
Of course, and I knew it would, and I knew that.
Cassie's a very fluid player. She plays with whoever will keep her safe.
Whoever will rank her first.
Period.
And I do think that it should be pointed out that Randy did have all those connections and did navigate them like an artist.
No one's saying Randy's not one of the best players. Randy and I played Manifest. It was one of the best games I've ever seen. And I voted her out because I would have lost 9-0 in that work if it was not for beating Mandy. So I would have. So, I mean, she knows I love her and her gameplay. It's just this was not our game. It did not work out well. And maybe the next one, who knows?
I think Randy's a top 3 black market player of all time.
Yeah. I mean, it's a winner, made it to Final Four of All-Star.
I'm number 1 and 2, and then it's Randy.
You're 1 and 2.
You know what? I'll take it.
I'm joking. No, I've always said I wasn't allowed to say this during the season. People get because it would make her target. But Randy's season 9 game was the cleanest black market win of any season. Just perfection. People should have voted you out first in here. I don't know why they didn't.
I really thought they were going to. So I would go to my DR every day and I'm just going to wing it. No plans, no nothing. Just went in with.
Well, they couldn't vote her out the first round because she was exact the first round.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That should have made you an extra big target for round 2.
I remember we were like, not first boot at least. Congrats.
People, I don't think rewatched season 9 or watched season 9 at the time, and that definitely helped you because you were like freaking insane in that season. It's like a magician.
And I'm gonna show you guys.
What?
I should have known not to trust you. The whole season 9, I thought she was my number 1, and I went into that finale and I was like, yes, I'm going to final 2 with Randy. Come to find out, her and Matt just tanked me all fucking season long. And then this season, I'm like, okay, I've created the season 9 group. I hadn't talked to Randy at all on a one-on-one level then. But I was like, okay, I feel really, really good with Randy. It's going to be me and Randy at the end again. and she puts me up instead of Stu.
I couldn't do that to Stu. Like I said, Stu put in so much effort with me. And like, Cassie, I'm not saying you didn't, but like, it was just different coming from Stu. And I don't know how to explain it. Like, Danny, I don't know.
You made the right call, Randy. Cassie would have turned on you. Stu never would. So you don't. Oh,
I know. But I even said that. I knew she was getting closer with Blake. I knew she was close with Josh. Like, I knew it. Like, I wasn't stupid. And y'all trying to get me to turn on Mitch. And I was like, no, the moment Mitch
that
is
would have
gone,
been a horrible move.
like, I'm not stupid.
That was the most gaslighting I've seen in any org of all
y'all can yell at me as much as you want about how dumb that move was, but that was my move, and I was just going to keep doing it until I sent all of you guys home. So, sorry, Cassie.
I couldn't believe people were mad at you for keeping Mitch. You had to keep Mitch. Why would you not keep Mitch?
Please. I was getting yelled at.
I think it's crazy. Of course. You would have gotten to the end with Mitch if whatever. I mean, he would have of course. He was winning everything.
And his score would have been lower than yours. You would have had like a beautiful 2 points of jury from Mitch. Like, I think, Randy, you voted out all the right people, nominated all the right people. It just didn't work out. And other people were playing just as good. It was a tough group. I don't think many of you made mistakes with your votes, honestly. It's just a really tough cast. And a lot of you played really well.
I think our biggest mistake as a cast was giving Josh his social score. That was hands down. That was a huge mistake.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm
Yeah,
happy that you guys.
I needed that win.
Megan's not here, but she tried taking Josh from the very beginning, and she told people to take Josh too, and no one listened to her. Megan was.
I was taking Josh. I stole a social
I was too.
No one was taking him hard enough.
Putting you low, not hard enough. I was putting you
it was just me.
Josh at all.
bottom half, but
Josh was in my top 5 consistently.
But he was also had such a high score from being on every board. He was getting rogue noms.
Yeah, he was playing the
collecting points.
He wasn't putting in for the wheel.
He wasn't putting Max under review.
Oh, so many of you went on way too many wheels.
Production would always. My favorite thing is me saying something on the feed, and then me just going to my TR and doing a complete opposite. And production's like dying. Production's just dying.
No, every Josh vote has like 6 dead reacts.
And you were like, say it with your chest. If you want to come at me, if you want to try to pin this on me, tell me who you are. And then I'm like, you bitch, you just did that rogue nom yourself, and now you're acting it up 20 times higher. And he was living for it. He was like, I'm so mad. Max, I would never do that. And meanwhile, he's like, I did that.
And then you like a couple times you like tried to fake out your vote, like you were gonna vote someone else out, and then you
would apologize to them on the screen, like, "Oh, Sally Jane, I have to vote you. I'm so sorry. I vote to evict."
I could think of a really good vote when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, Randy and Stu.
Yeah.
That was.
Oh my gosh.
Toxic.
Where someone didn't have a vote in yet and just said that they did. Look at as verbatim. That was wild.
So we've been on the final 12 of our recap for a while. Now let's move on to final 11.
As we should. I'm final 12, just so you know, but we can go back.
Yeah. Final 11 was when you guys had to it was the waltz comp where you had to get in partners and yell at each other.
I can't believe I wasn't there to play that comp. I would have won. I'm so much louder than all.
I would say you guys as a group disappointed me on that comp. A lot of incorrect answers and reading the questions wrong.
Everyone was getting that one question wrong until
the digit one where it was like it has to be not the same number of digits or whatever it was.
And everyone was like 10
times.
and 30, 10 and 30. Like,
yeah. But yeah, obviously eventually Katie figured it out and Katie won that competition. So it was the first time the revolution was in power since it was formed, basically, right?
I was not part of the revolution, but thanks.
Well,
no, I wasn't part of anything. Literally, people drug me. I don't know why. I don't know how I made it to final 10. Never nominated. I was literally drugged until jury.
I guess I was confusing
Nobody
it
wanted
with,
to work with me, not one person.
I was confusing it with
Hannah did.
Defeated, which kind of became the Revolution.
Yeah, it defeated.
Yeah.
It was defeated. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
what was the name of the group chat?
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah,
had
that
the
was-
bottom feeders.
Yeah.
The bottom feeders, yeah, that was first. And then it
Not
was...
the bottom feeder.
I wasn't in the bottom feeders. I was in
Yes, you
defeated.
were. Were you not?
No,
No,
Mona
I wasn't in that
I was
one
in
either.
defeated. I was in defeated.
That was
I
before.
don't
That
know
was
We didn't
about
trust
it.
the bottom feeders because Mona wasn't in it. And Sienna wasn't in it.
That was why that's
Yeah.
Katie. The reason we didn't trust it was because you wanted Sienna in it, and none of us trusted Sienna. That's the only reason. And we were
We
all,
should have.
We should have.
I love Sienna.
I miss Sienna.
I
I'm
ranked
so
her
sorry for
one
Sienna.
a lot of times.
She loved you too, Mona. She really got robbed. Most
That was my girl. Yes.
Yeah, so oh yeah, so this is a moment I want to talk about because you it actually relates to Sienna. So I think one of the things I thought was like it was kind of a miss was nominating Sienna from that board.
huge miss.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huge miss.
Yeah.
Yep.
What
Sienna
was like the
honestly should
thinking
have been
that
put on
went,
the
that went
board.
into that? I guess.
What I should have put Sienna instead of Josh, but because I had promised him that because we were on a team, that's where Sienna lost her spot on the board, was because I promised Josh a spot because we were a duo. Alex, you're muted, bestie, if you're talking. Okay. So really that's where we lost Sienna.
Yeah.
And
well, you could
I
have
think-
stacked the
and-
noms and kept Sienna safe still, I guess, and just not.
Well, Katie
Yeah,
wanted.
you wanted to
Stu
keep
safe,
Stu safe.
But that made
was
sense.
That's why,
for
and we were
Katie's
all mad,
game.
but we respected Katie.
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
that
yeah,
wasn't the miss. It was Megan that was the miss. Megan should have been up instead.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping Stu safe made sense. Stu was with Katie. They are friend. I don't want to
Yeah.
say the F word, but they're friends.
We are friends.
There's no
Yes, we're
friends in these games. What are you talking about?
Except me and Randy.
Yeah, like I would never have
Besties.
gone into a board meeting and said it's Katie's time ever.
Same.
So that was, in that way, it was smart. We weren't sharing info. We weren't, chatting every day. But there was, it was an understood, kind of what I have with Cassie, that I guess eventually I turn on. But like it was just like I don't want to be the reason that Katie leaves this game.
Mm-hmm.
You said that about D-Huck too. You have a
I
lot.
was talking game to you, Stu.
No, that's Cassie. That's for later. I'm saying that our initial conversation was that I felt that I couldn't go against you just because of who we are, and that was it.
Yeah, so I think, if you had nominated Megan, because Megan was more in with that. So Sienna was like...
For sure. Megan was in alliances with them, and Sienna had none.
I knew it. I knew that.
And this was right around when I think that Zoom moment happened, which would have been even more of a strain between them.
Oh, yeah, so I meant to talk about that, because that kind of was the
Yeah.
other side. That was kind of... If
An
you want to talk
episode or
about a
two
formal
before.
alliance that was the non-revolution, it would maybe be the Zoom moment, but it was more Mitch, Randy, and Stu, and then they also had the Zoom moment-ish.
I would say Ranch Stu was a
wasn't-
million times more important.
Well, yeah,
The Zoom
it
moment was almost
absolutely
nothing.
was, but like, but all those names were in the Zoom moment, or most of them.
Stu
That's what I'm
wasn't in
trying
the
to
Zoom moment.
No, and Stu was way more important to the group and loyal to the group. No offense, Cassie. Cassie was ready to move all around town.
But it was
I guess
funny
what I'm trying to say is
because
that's the
Alex-
closest.
It was funny,
that's-
but
if
this
you're
would
looking at
be
the
like
list
at
of
the end of
names,
the
that's the
episode.
closest to the list of names, I guess, in a formal
Yeah.
alliance. But
Alex,
the
you made
core
a
of it
comment
was
that night when
Rich
you
Stu.
were about to get off.
Yeah.
Sorry. And you were like, oh, there's going to be another Zoom moment happening. And that's how they got
The fuck, you knew they would. I knew the second I left, they were all gonna get fucking together. It was so stupid, but I could not fucking. I was so mad that night. I don't know why I was mad, but I couldn't be on it anymore. So I just left. Our season 13, we were stuck all night long with Tanner. Love you, Tanner. Shout out.
Your season was the worst. I missed work that season. We were up till 4 a.m. every night.
Because no one would leave because we were also
We
paranoid.
did our boards.
Yeah, because that was when
We
Keisha
did our
chose
branches
boards.
for a bloodbath on a Zoom after everybody left. Shout out Keisha.
Alex,
Shout
were
out
you still
Tanner.
in the game at this point? No.
No, but I'm inserting myself. Sorry.
No. I was genuinely didn't remember.
No, they got me out already.
Which was
No, Alex was still in
them.
the game when the Zoom moment happened.
Yes,
Like,
I
when
was
it
in the
started.
Zoom thing because I was in the Zoom and then I left.
Did you all explain the Zoom moment?
It's just Randy, Mitch, Cassie, Megan.
Oh,
I left
They
them
all
all. I
stayed on
should
the
never have
Zoom.
trusted Mitch alone without me. Mitch never was going to work with me.
I really just did stay to talk to Allison and Paige, and then other players would just linger, and I was just there to talk to those two, and then whoever stayed, but
Underrated
a lot
black
of the
market
time-
advantage is being MST or PST. You can stay up after the shows.
True. Where were we? So, what happened with the VP that round? 1 second, I'm trying to figure it out.
Mitch won the VP.
Mitch won.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know, but I just assumed.
Yeah, it's a good assumption.
You'd have a good guess.
Yeah, Mitch won, saved himself, and Cassie.
I was like 2 seconds behind, not even.
It was so close.
It was so close, and that would have changed a lot because I would have kept Mitch and Randy on the block, and one of them would have went home that episode. But I
would have been a good
missed
night
it
to
by that
just on
much.
those two also.
Wait, what was the comp again? Which one was it? Or...
The word search.
It's so weird because every time I wanted to win, I wanted to save Katie, and
really,
yeah, every time,
Katie, you were very highly talked about in Ranch too, like very highly. I'm not saying that for any, like, it's the truth.
So everyone talked highly of me, but nobody was like really, really tight with me.
That is a good way to explain it. No one was
It's a
targeting you
crappy
at all.
crappy situation for
Yeah,
sure.
nobody was targeting you.
I wasn't being targeted, but I also wasn't in with anyone either.
In a way that, like, to me, I perceive that as kind of like a middle position, though. It's great. You're not super high on anybody's list, but you're also not having anybody come for you right then and there. And as people go, I think it also puts somebody in a position like that to develop strong relationships as those super close people get broken apart. So I thought you were in a good position.
And your side was winning so much after you left. If you just had won that VP, you could have gotten way further.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So one thing about this VP, so Mitch left Randy under review here, which I think was kind of like trying to play it off that they're not connected, but I don't know if anyone really felt.
I hated
for
that.
Or
Please, Hayden.
I don't think
please.
No one fell for it. Please.
No, she said unanimously.
It makes Randy a bigger threat doing that because it's like that's how confident you are that Randy's gonna stay. It made it worse. The other side was feeling patronized by these people. Like it just.
I think it helped Mitch and Randy think that they were more with me than they were with Stu.
I think it was also a thing for Mitch to be like, okay, well, I can show this loyalty to Cassie, saving her over Randy, knowing they're in that position, and to try to pull you in a little bit more. I definitely think.
And Randy, don't consent to that again. You need to get your points back. You lost.
I think if Randy gets any votes, maybe, but no. So the saying unanimously was like, oh please, like no one even, there was nothing to hide.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a show for like, technically your side, but it definitely was a show for me.
Was it unanimous?
It was 5-0.
Yeah.
It was also, I don't think it was like because it was me. It's because I was against Sienna, and Sienna wasn't giving anything to anybody. So
everyone had their distrust about Sienna still at that point. Everybody always thought that there was other people Sienna was with.
I do think if anybody was against Sienna, they probably stayed unanimously. It just happened to be me.
As production, yes, that's true, but they wouldn't have realized that because they thought Sienna was with you guys. So it just
and that was an open shot to take the last winner in the game still out, and they didn't. So that I think said a lot too. But a lot of the time the boards were constructed. I don't think boards were put together thinking about what voters would be left until it was too late. A lot of times that was a discussion that you guys would have in the boardroom saying, okay, we're here, but no matter who we put up, the voters are still being controlled by their people. So they'd have to decide. And then you guys started saying, okay, well, if we had blank and blank, they have to choose between those two, which is when started getting more strategic a little bit about it. But the voters were really
Mitch
left.
And Randy never works. It's so hard to get rid of them.
But the thing is, if you pick a board with people that aren't with you, they're gonna rogue nom your allies.
Right.
Oh yeah, you all made the right decisions with your boards. I would never pick other people. I would just take the loss.
There's the safety in that, but then just knowing once you make those noms, it's out of your hands, and that's what a lot of you knew at that point. You said, "All right, well," and that's when the Siennas
That's why
went
Black
in those
Market is the
situations.
best org for big players because as long as you're the head of your side, you're gonna win.
Yeah.
The center of that side won, and Blake, and the center of the other side, Randy, would have won if you guys won the comps. The center of either side was always gonna win.
And that's why I say like the middle is a very dangerous spot in Black Market, even though it helps your social score. It's like you're going to be the one clipped probably, which we'll get to that. I know, Danny, you didn't agree with me thinking that Josh was going to go that one.
Well, you were wrong, and I was.
I was
right.
close to being right though. It was a tie vote. It was.
But you were wrong.
He I mean, he saved himself a tie vote, and then it was all up from there. But
Josh, he didn't believe in you. I did.
He thought
I knew if he survived, he would have a good chance after. But he was
You
in
can't
very
doubt
dangerous
Josh. When he
spot.
smells blood in the water, he's fighting.
Yeah. But it's sort of what happened to Cassie eventually later too, because Cassie kind of became in the middle at a certain point, and then that's when Cassie got cut.
Middle is good in Black Market until jury.
Yeah.
I think I would have been cut there regardless, though. I don't think that was a scenario of me being in the middle. I think that was just my time to go. Because at that point, it was the Mitch, Stu, and Randy, and then I was the last one. So I was always the bottom of that.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, because you're going to be, the voters are going to be that group, and they're going to vote you out. That's why I'm saying it's like it's a dangerous position, or you're not going to be on their board, something like that, you know. But it's really good for social scores, and that's why Josh had such a high social score, because he was in the middle. And, yeah, I don't know. That was something I was thinking a lot about this season. Because when you get a really strong divide like that, middle's dangerous, I think. But,
the season was pretty strongly divided. We've seen more, but it was pretty split.
I was so ready to make my board Blake and Stu and finally get out Mitch. I was so ready for it.
I was rooting for you that night, Cassie. That would have been the best TV.
And Cassie, I think that would have worked, right? Like mathematically, that would have worked.
It would have mathematically worked because I would have had either D-Hawk or Josh voting with me, and I would have been able to keep Blake safe. And there was no scenario as to where it would have been both Josh and D-Hawk left as noms.
Well, unless Stu betrayed you.
Which he probably could have, but whatever.
Probably would have.
I was going to pull Blake into a room and be like, okay, listen, I'm going to tell Stu that I'm going to do Josh and Randy so that he goes, okay, I'll do D-Hawk too and Rovenom, but then switch mine to D-Hawk and Randy or something like that. But
cool.
It didn't work out for a reason.
Would have been fun.
Yeah, I have a question for Josh if he's paying attention. So I noticed that you were with both sides, and then when one side was doing too well, you went with the underdogs because you didn't feel as bad. If the other side, if Blake and them were winning everything, would you have switched to Mitch and Randy? Or do you think
Probably, because even with the Revolution, I didn't feel like I was high on their list either. Even when we would coordinate rankings, it was always okay, well, we're going to do Blake, we're going to do Dia, we're going to do Mona, then we're going to do Josh. I was like, these fucking bitches. And so, yeah, I felt on the bottom of both sides. Honestly, I really did. So if they were probably steamrolling, I probably would have went over to more to Mitch and Randy as well.
Which I think is if you are playing the middle, I think that is the right way to go. To go to the smaller side, because then you have room to fit onto their boards, and whereas the side that has the numbers, you're gonna probably get knocked off their board.
Yeah, towards the end, when I won that exec, I was like, wow, this is so easy. These are the only people I have.
And Josh, you did very well at climbing up the ranks for Blake. Maybe you were always up there, but I thought she would be choosing D-Hawk more over you, and you really got in there and flipped it towards the end.
Yeah, I thought that she would choose D-Hawk and Mona and Alex over me. I was like, okay. Same with D-Hawk too, though, and Mona.
I feel like my first year was very much okay, I have Josh, I have Andrew, I have Alex, and that's it, and let's see what happens. And they're gonna come after each other. So I was high on Josh, but I was D-Hug wanted to strategize more, and we wanted to chat more for sure.
Stu cheered 400 bits, said, fucking Josh played so good. Not a fan. Thanks, Stu. Alright, so let's go to the next round. Same night, though. Mitch won exec when I had the numbers and the letters behind me here. I thought that was a fun one. Yeah, Mitch won. Who we got Blake, D-Huck, Katie, and Mona under review from that one. At this point, the dividing lines are pretty clear. I mean, like, very clear, I think. And VP, that's when D-Huck won VP.
Why did no one nominate Josh? How did Josh get away with not being nominated? That was
because he was playing with everybody.
He did so well. That was crazy. I was so impressed. I can't believe I was so impressed, Josh. You did not get nominated. I was like watching. I was like, no fucking way.
As he's playing like a Clue veto at the time. Thank you all for not nominating me. I'm here.
Josh knew me and Mitch wouldn't nominate him. Josh knew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was in danger once.
The way that Mitch sold it, and
it was good.
This is why I was so in the dark and didn't know like all the lies that I was being told, or misdirections, if you want to call them that. Mitch said that he didn't want Josh nominated so that the other side would distrust Josh, which I completely bought because that sounds like the greatest thing in the world. But what Mitch was actually doing was protecting Josh because Mitch felt that Josh would eventually pick Mitch.
That was a little bit true, though. It was partially true because
I agree. I'm just saying that's what was sold to me, but I didn't know a lot of the other. I didn't know that Mitch and Josh were like a thing, or that you and Josh were a thing.
I want to say I was really with Mitch and Randy. Like, if I wasn't, I would have snitched on his cup. And like, Randy told people her cup and all of that. So I was more with them. They just became way too powerful.
Yeah.
Josh will not let anyone else run the season. We stand.
Yeah, but I mean, people were talking about you after that, though. I think it did kind of go the way, because people were saying, Josh is like really playing the middle here. I think people caught on to that after that point. Am I wrong?
He hasn't been nominated by then either, too.
Josh should have left against Mona. They should not have tied it. There was no reason to tie it. He should have fully left. No offense, Josh.
And the way you all kept agreeing to give all these people information about their social scores and then keeping them in the game.
You guys, giving Josh that tie, lost your side of the game just because then he was able to win all the tiebreakers and had a way better score than Mona. It just would have been way better to keep her.
Yeah, definitely changing that system in the future. But
it worked. That.
Yeah.
Like, never gonna happen
Except again. I wanted to vote out Josh. Like, he was asking me to do what I wanted.
Well, so you should have done it. Or did you? Who didn't?
I voted Josh. Like
I didn't vote Josh.
Okay, so it was that side.
Right, that was the situation where we just didn't.
Josh. Then it's not your fault, but yeah.
We just didn't have the power to do anything. Every time, Josh, later on, Josh D-Huck, I wanted to vote. Every time I voted Josh, I wanted to vote Josh out. But it just never worked because Josh is a king.
Yeah. Oh, wait. So I didn't cover. So final 10. Katie had 3
We're
votes.
on final 10.
It was Katie versus Mona, and the vote, and then it was 3-1. Katie, anyone want to talk about the decision making on that vote, or?
I think it was clear after I gave up that they were all going to vote me. I honestly gave up at that point. I was like, I'm over it. I'm tired. I'm tired of trying and getting nothing in return. I'm done. Just vote me out. Like, at that point, everyone was like, use your button. I'm like, no, I can't. I cannot exude any more energy in this game. I'm fuming inside. I couldn't anymore. I was done. Mm-hmm. But I didn't want to walk because obviously you cast me. So I was like, I can't walk, but I'm so over this. I'm so over it that no, I gave up. I was done. And that's what happened.
and we had our core alliance put together by then, so we kind of knew. Like, unfortunately, Katie was the only one not left in our alliance, like core from there. So we pretty much knew as long as we won VP that we could control it. But that's just kind of how a card shook out for us on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Katie, like we started working together too late. We had been working with Mona earlier, and that was my decision too.
I mean, I wasn't working with anyone because nobody would talk to me. So
It's a tough spot, for sure. And yeah, Mitch was the one to vote out Mona there, but I think you guys knew that. All right. Yeah. So then, final 9. This is the spot where I was thinking Josh was in a difficult position here because I was like, he's not going to be on a board. There's only we had a whole discussion about it. I can't. I didn't think you were going to make a board though because everyone thought you were playing the middle, unless you won. Which, then what happened? So Josh, who won? Randy won that one. I don't remember what comp that was. When we got back, it was 2 Truths and a Lie, which took years. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then you guys tied the vote. Josh convinced you guys to tie it, which drastically changed the game and led to Josh getting to like his whole game was up from there after the tie. I think for sure.
Had the info.
Yep. So we kind of discussed that, but anyone want to talk anything more about that round? I don't know.
I guess, Blake and D-Hug, did you guys consider voting me out? Because that's part of the reason why I also wanted to push a tie, because I knew it would probably be difficult for you guys to choose between me and Mona. So I was like, wait, we were all in the top half. Let's just tie it and see where we are, because we don't know.
Well, Blake just said she was never voting you out, so you don't need to ask that question.
I probably missed her saying that. I missed her.
She says that. Honestly, but I'm not mad at her because I wanted you to stay over me anyways because I think that you had a better chance of getting to the end. I feel like had I stayed, I'd have probably just been next. It'd have been me instead of D-Huck. And I appreciated playing with y'all. I knew you probably had a higher social score than me. And I don't regret that decision at all. Like, I really don't. I didn't give up. I just wanted you to go further than me.
Oh.
I knew that was like, it's going to be a tough vote having to choose between you two. So once you were like saying you guys wanted a tie, it just kind of gave me like an easy out on that. But I do think Mona would have been better for my game.
1 billion times better, D-Hug. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. Like, she would have been better for me.
Then you became the bottom of the 3 when you would have been.
Right.
If you'd have switched that, you'd have been my boy.
You would have been Mona's final 2 and Blake's. Like, D-Hug, you could.
Yeah, I know. That could have been a turning point for me. But once they like really sold the tie, I feel like I had to honor it, But
yeah,
Mona was definitely better for my game.
I hated the both of you being up. That was terrible. I was not about it.
I feel like if any one person flipped on that vote, it would be unclear who was the one that flipped.
Yeah.
Because
I loved y'all though. Like, I love the revolution. I loved watching y'all after I was gone. I loved sending bits and shouting y'all out. Like, y'all was my crew and I fuck with y'all. Like, y'all's my peoples. Let's be real. And I'm gonna love y'all forever.
I like calling y'all flops when we would lose every comp.
Yeah, we would go over who we were.
Be careful, guys. Mona said she would love me forever our season. Then I didn't hear from her for a year and a half, so be careful.
Girl, please. You was on the whole other side. Just so happened that I recognized game and I voted for you.
We were friends, though. We were friend rivals.
Oh, my God.
We wasn't really rivals, though. It was kind of Josh coming at your dome, and I loved it. Oh, my God. But, yeah, we had a good season.
All Mona seasons are good seasons.
Thank you.
So then Josh got his fun little social score from the tie.
Yep.
That was fun. And then we followed that next one into the next one was his exec, right?
Yep, he won exec the next one. What
Because
was
he
it?
knew his social score
Yeah.
for the tie.
Yeah.
Wow.
What comes?
he
Was this block market? Or was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Block market. Oh, that was the
when you
game?
block,
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that was the game. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, were we playing a different game? Because I was playing Black
That was a shocking comp for me because I was shocked that you guys didn't coordinate or talk or like know that you didn't have like a common enemy the other side. Whereas like I just knew we were all gonna do Mitch. We didn't want Mitch in, like.
Yeah.
And you did. You all said Mitch.
Well, this is a question actually I wanted to ask Cassie and Megan if she was here because I feel like you did it on purpose. Like you purposely didn't want that side to win exec there.
And now Craig came in.
Oh gosh. I think she's talking to someone.
She's talking to her husband, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But I actually really enjoyed that boardroom because Josh used that as a chance to get in Cassie's head a little bit. And I don't know if like Cassie actually believed it, but that's when Josh was saying how he had a chat with Randy and Mitch, and Cassie goes, "Oh, really? Because I have one too." And then I think that was where Cassie really was like, she was considering flipping at that point because she knew where she stood with everybody and was ready to just go for it.
I had been talking in my DR for days about flipping at that point, but I needed some sort of...
I think that was the ammo.
Yeah, I needed some sort of ammo to get me there. But the reason I blocked Josh is because I truly believed that he was going to follow through with putting Mitch and Randy on his board, and I was just dumb, and I thought it was a 3-person board. So I was like, why would I want Josh to win exec if I'm not going to go on the board? But that's where I was thinking. So I straight up blocked him, told him I didn't want him to win exec, and then he was like, okay, you can go on my board.